they feel, so you can figure out how new this is. But I'm glad that I'm now able to share with you guys that that I'm actually that I've actually started this. So basically, what this channel is all about. I'm most likely going to talk about the nursing life experiences that I've had through the years. I graduated in 2015, and I have 5 years of experience. That's 5 years down the line, still a nurse. Oh my god, it must be God's grace. It is, yeah, it's actually God's grace. Yes. So guys, I'm actually going to share my experiences both in the private sectors and the public sectors, because currently I'm working with the government public sectors, that is. So as we advance, sorry, excuse me. So as we go on, as you advance, I'm actually going to talk about the pros and cons of both sectors, and even compare. So today I just want to talk about my first experience as a nurse, when I first landed at my first job. So that is back in 2015. That's when I graduated. So I was lucky enough that I not to really hustle a lot before getting a job. It took me about like a month. Yes, yeah. That's right. It took me like a month to land at my first job. Really grateful for God having guided me through that time. So when I got my first job, guys, it was so intense. Being that you are alone with no supervision, you work on a minimum supervision. People trust you. People like expect much from you. Wow, it was such an experience of a lifetime, guys. But I thank God that happened. So I got my job in a private sector. It was an Asian hospital. I'm not gonna mention names here. I'm gonna try and keep things private, confidential, and even the name of individuals that I'm going to try and explain. But I'm gonna keep things private and confidential right here. So I remember, on my first day in this job, I was handed over a patient. And this patient had leukemia. So when this patient had leukemia at its late stage, advanced stage, yeah, because it had spread to even other organs in the lungs and what have you. So this patient was on chemo, yeah, definitely, but was obviously on an at the very verge, at the end, like at the end of life, yes. So I remember nursing this patient for 2 days. These are those patients that you just don't forget about. I don't know. I've never forgotten about this patient. But it's not good not to do that, to keep on carrying maybe people. I don't know. But I've never forgotten about this patient. So the thing is, this patient, I nursed him for 2 days, and unfortunately his life ended at the second day of nursing him. And I remember doctors having done everything, nurses having really worked so hard to ensure that everything was in place. But and it was just one of those things that you just say meant to happen. So he died, and this particular hospital, when patient die, you as a nurse, you do last offices, and you will even patient to morgue, and you put even patient in the fridge. And I did all that, and I was just, my goodness, it was so intense, guys. I had never done that before. Yes, last officers we normally do, but now when you are done, the morgue attendants collects the body and take it to the mortuary and puts it in the fridge. But at this particular time, my goodness, it was the nurse doing this job, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, what kind of a nursing is this? Wow, wow. My goodness, it drained me, like it really drained my mental. Like, my god, like, do I continue with this career or do I stop here? My, but I thank God He gave me strength. I did it on the first day, that very first day, but I never had such an experience throughout the months, because I stayed in that particular hospital for a couple of months before I left to look for somewhere else. So in this particular hospital, the shifts were quite long. We would work like 14 to 16 hours of shift. My goodness, it was quite a long shift, because when you will report in the morning at 7:30 a.m., then you leave the hospital at around 9:30, around even 10. That's when when you've handed over, you've changed your shift maybe to the night staff. My God. And you'll get home very late, and so very late, with insecurities and with, I don't know. This was just an experience that why, I don't know. Sometimes I just ask myself why I did go through such an experience. But I thank God I did it. Thank God it happened. Thank God he kept me safe. But oh my God, how the hospital was drained. The overworking was just, my goodness, to the roof. And there was no even allowance for the shift, like for the long shift, for the overtime. Sometimes people really blame nurses for that, for things, and I'm like, I just sit back and I'm like, oh my God, I wish you adjusted my shoes, and just, you would have known where this shoes is really pinching me the most. But anyway, I just leave it to God, but I pray for strength daily. And I know this is what I love doing. I mean, I honestly know that this is what I love doing, because if it was not for the love of this career, I think I would have just, like, say, enough is enough. I'm just quitting. I just want to do something else. But I love doing this. Thank God that I do this every day. And if I didn't actually love it, I don't think I will be here 5 years down the line. I don't think I will just be like doing some business somewhere, or I don't know. But thank God He gave me the strength. I'm still here. So thank you guys for being around. Thank you guys for listening, for sticking around. And I think next time I'm just gonna talk about to change, like a change, like my change over to my next hospital. I'm going to talk about it and compare even the experiences in both hospitals. So thank you guys so much for subscribing, and continue subscribing. Hit the subscription button. So we're gonna talk about more about life experiences, about how we can advance our careers, about how we can actually, what you can actually do as a side hustles for nurses. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. So see you next time. Goodbye.